Well, hello folks, and welcome back to another episode of Downhill Smooth Tarmac. It's a workshop episode, it's a single speed episode. Got a real bit of a bargain. You know how basically I am trying to champion Downhill Smooth Tarmac as the home of budget conscious cycling. You know, I've done the Billy Budget gravel bike, been doing some single speed gravel biking, and now I want to do a single speed road bike, and this one comes in the form of this chromo steel Kona Paddy Wagon. It's from about 2013. It's got a raw steel finish. It's got some really cool upgrades, including these Mika or Miche wheels. And most importantly, off Facebook Marketplace, it was a genuine 70 English pounds. It's nothing. It's nothing considering the bits and bobs it's got on it. All this thing needs is bringing back from commuter hell. It is caked up with dirt. It's got brake dust all over it. It's filthy. The bar tape's knackered. It's time to strip it down. Before we do, let's get some detail shots of the filth that this thing is living in. Let's roll the credits and have a look at it. Meow, 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 meow. Okay, so when I said this thing was dirty, I was not lying. Just look at the state of this. It is a true commuter, and it has been living the commuter life. But there's nothing here that we can't fix. This thing just needs a good helping of love. And I think the first thing we're going to do is strip it down and clean it. Okay, so next job now, as you can see, the bike is stripped down. You can see what the bike's all about. We can see that this, even though it's a lacquered bare steel, still needs a deep clean. So the next step is going to be to get some T-Cut on it, which we use. Everyone who restores a bike uses T-Cut. It's the easiest way to go. It's going to take all the dirt, all the grime off. It's going to bring it back to a nice glossy shine. So we're going to get that on there. We're going to work it on. It's basically mildly abrasive. See straight away it's going to get rid of all the grime, all the mucky bits, all the bits where it's been scuffed are going to come up a lot better, and the whole bike is going to have a lovely shine to that lacquer, because lacquer is, at the end of the day, it's the final coat on coloured paint or over bare steel, so it's what we need to protect. So I'm going to crack on, get working around that and see how it comes out.
Start it up.
Okay, so with that bike now cleaned up, the frame's all clean. Now it's time to start making some adjustments to make it suit me a little better, starting with adjusting the stem height. This is slammed for me. It's a 58cm bike, so it's about as small as I really want to go. I am nearly 6'4". I've been known to ride a 57 in the past. So what I want to do now is I'm just going to quickly swap a few bits over here. Let's quickly swap that over. I'm not going to put all the stem spacers underneath, just two, just to raise it up about an inch. I have test ridden this bike before I bought it, so I know it's not far off where I want it to be, but I just want it a little higher. I don't want it slammed. You need to cycle maintenance and repair. Headset, get it under tension first with the top bit, make sure it's not loose. With the top cap, tighten that up. And then you're going to straighten the bars, tighten up the stem itself. There we go. Not going to take the bottom bracket out of this bike before we get to that. It's fine, there's no play in it. The reason why I've taken the cranks off, A, is to clean them. and B, is I might replace them with something a bit different. I don't know yet. Okay, so that's the stem adjusted, the frame all polished up, looking absolutely spanking. Giving it a good inspection. It's in a pretty good shape, to be honest. There's a couple of little scratches around the decal on this side that you can't see on camera, but other than that, it's cleaned up beautifully. There's no damage. We knew that. I inspected it before I bought it. I'm not going to give a load of money over for a bike that's damaged. All that's left to do now is, well, it's quite a lot actually. Don't know why I said all that's left to do. We need to pop outside, give those wheels a darn good clean, put some different tyres. Folks, we're back with the wheels cleaned and the gator skin tyres fitted, just like that, the parrot video. Giving them a quick clean up, hot soapy water. Those mesh hubs have come up beautifully and we've gone up to a 28C gator skin over the 25C Schwalbe Marathons. Now, I did say I was going to mention about these wheels. What a surprise these were as an addition to this bike, to see that somebody's fitted a set of Michelin Express 2s, Mika Express 2s or Mish Express 2s. Reason why I'm so excited about these, whoa, sealed cartridge bearings, beautiful. Cleaned up, these actually have got so much life left in them. I don't know whether the old owner, I'm the new owner, the old owner bought these new or used, but they have got a ton of life left in them. So all that's left now, talked about them, looked at them, we've cleaned them, we put some tyres on them, let's put them back in. Let's crack on with this build. Put some in backwards, you tit. Probably would have helped if I put the mud guards back on first, wouldn't it? There's a bit of a cockeyed way of doing this, but when you've got a single speed with mud guards, you basically need to get everything in place roughly before you start putting a crank and a chain back on, so you can get the chain length right to get it to sit, because ideally we want it to sit roughly in the middle here so we get enough clearance for those 28s on these mud guards. Keep that one for the bloopers. Right, so same with the front. Should have probably put the mud guards on first. Front one, I'm hoping it's going to clear. It had 25s on it before, so hopefully we're not going to encounter any undue problems. I've noticed while cleaning these that although these mud guards are very similar, they don't actually match. But I'm going to go with it as a single speed bike thing. Let's see what we got here. Actually, while we're here, make life easier, I'm going to stick the front brake back on and all. That way we can lift this mud guard up and the front is going to be right good. I have cleaned this brake caliper up off camera. Just gave it a wipe down with a clean rag. Took all the old brake dirt off and all that whatnot. Checked it, checked the springs are good. When it comes to stopping on a bicycle, you cannot spend too long checking stuff out. That's my feeling anyway. Take your time, clean it up, check the pads. Pads are good on this. So the guy might have ridden this a lot, but he has looked after it. Granted, it was filthy, but actually mechanically not bad at all, apart from, we'll get to it in a bit, but the chain was pretty much done with. But he's very kindly. Okay. If you've never fitted mud guards before, I'm going to do a guide video on how to do it, to be honest, because it is a bit of a dark art. When you get them perfect, it is a lovely feeling. What we're aiming for is a nice even spread. We don't want it to hit the wheel, we don't want it anywhere near the wheel if we can get it, but we don't want it looking out of place neither. It is a bit of trial and error. in the centre of the wheel, obviously. You don't want it to hit it. Oh, first time charm. As for the back, again, I'm going to put the caliper in place roughly, and then I'm going to address what actually the biggest problem with this back one is. There's a little kink here. Now, I think this might be bent, but equally we can make some adjustments. So let's get this caliper in place so that something's holding the mud guard, and then see what we can do. Okay, so we know with the brake on, the mud guard is going to at least clear. So now we'll loosen these off. Let's see if we can get that kink out. Just got to do your best with them. And what I'm going to do is ideally I'm going to loosen them all off and just see if I can hide that kink in the line of the tyre and the wheel as well a little bit. Now I know the chain line's going to change slightly, but hopefully we'll be able to pull it back and it'll be about where it needs to be. The sooner this is tightened up and pulling the mud guard back into shape, the better as far as I'm concerned. There we are. That's a lot better straight away, look. Just pulling it back into a round shape. It's a round mud guard around a round wheel. How hard is it, people? You can just give it a little tweak by hand as well, especially these little tiddly ones. Oh, up! A little bit of a situation here. Now, so we'll probably end up changing this all again when we get the chain on. But there we go. It's roughly pulling itself back into shape. You can bend the stays around a little bit, but
okay, so full disclosure, I had a costume change because just after we finished mucking about with this mud guard, I ran out of time and one of the key lights died. So we're now back. It's a day or so later because I've been, well, had a wee break while I renewed my wedding vows with old Chopsy. So we're back on the bike today and we're nearly there really. We've got to reconnect the brakes and we've got to sort out that all important gearing. I've cleaned up the cranks and what I'm going to do is, I was going to change the ratio around. 42/16 is what this is running, and I think I'm going to stay with that just to kick things off. The only thing I'm going to do is get rid of that horrible chain guard thing because it's just nasty. So I'm going to crack on now. What I'm going to have to do is, I haven't got any single chainring bolts, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of work on the grinder just to shorten the existing ones to account for removing that guard. Let me show you that. It's a bit janky, but let me show you. Okay, so I know some of you aren't going to like this, but I don't want to buy new chainring bolts, just don't need to buy new chainring bolts. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to convert these doubles with the grinder down to basically a single width for a single chainring. Got it in the mold grip, so it's safe, it's clamped, it's away from my fingers. I'm going to use, this isn't a high powered grinder, I'm just going to take a small amount off until it comes down to level with the mold grips, and then I know it'll work on a single. Really simple, I'm just going to take my time. I know some of you won't like this, but you know the rules. A downhill smooth tarmac, it's not your bike, it's mine. And by clamping these all in the same place in the mold grips, I know I'm going to get a uniform set. And I'm just going to work my way down. To be honest, when you've worked on vintage bikes and you're trying to make things that work, trying to come up with ideas, you have to sometimes just think a little differently. Oops, she's skipping. And sometimes you learn ways just to save a little money. And this is one of them. Don't be afraid, people. Perfect. Well, 5 more to go. Now hold the phone. I've just found this awesome 42 single speed chainring. It's much nicer than the one that we've got on here. So I'm going to swap it out. Beautiful, it's single speed chain suitable, as is the freewheel at the back. So I forget that, I think it's 1.8" chain, something like that. But anyway, one of the benefits, one of the only benefits of ever having a bike shop of your own is random rammel like this you find for projects like this. And rammel, that's UK parlance for old crap that comes in handy. Let's get it on there. Okay, so next up, with that awesome chainring in place, it's time to put the chain on. I'm going to use the original chain that came on the bike rather than the new one that I've also been supplied, purely because I don't know the ratio I want to run eventually. So while I'm only running this same ratio, I've just took a link out because, to be quite honest, it was really slack before. So I'm hoping that just by losing a link, we'll be able to... No, we won't. Oh, mamma mia. The old owner of the bike did give me brand new, really nice Shimano chain because he said the old one was stretched, and now I've offered it up and seen the sign. It seems like that's probably is the case because I can't get a good chain line and a decent bit of chain tension. So what we're going to do, we're going to measure up and hopefully we'll be able to pull the chain tight enough to get the line that we want. Link isn't stiff. If you have a stiff link, give it a wiggle from side to side, up and down. Check the pin is evenly through. Come back a tiny bit. The last thing you need, especially with the single gear, is that link coming out. You're putting all that power down and it not playing ball. There we go, lovely. Right, so I'm going to put that on. Next step, let's put some tension in it. So tension time. This is your first experience of a single speed. This is dead easy. Slotted dropouts, because this is a proper single speed bike. I want a nice bit of tension into this chain, so I'm going to pull it back till I get it. I want it inside the dropouts, but nice and tight. And I want to make sure that the wheel is level, because unlike your geared up mountain bike or anything like that, you can put the wheel in wonky and you will either at worst rub the frame, at best rob yourself of precious wattage. And you're going to do these up nice and tight. I'm using an adjustable just because it's quicker. This on the trail or the road. There you go. And what you want is, you don't want it absolutely tight as anything. You just want it so it's nice and the line looks good and there's not slack. If you do this too tight, you'll know about it because it will pinch the wheel. You see what's happening there. So basically, if you do it too tight, it'll do this and it'll pull the wheel to a stop. You want it to flow nicely. You've got one gear to work with. You want it to be a good gear. That, bang on. And it's still clearing the mudguards. Absolute winner. Okay, so front brake. I've had to just quickly change out. The cable was frayed on that one, so I've just quickly put a new cable in. Now I'm going to show you just a neat little trick for setting up your brakes. You might have seen me do this before, but it just makes life a lot easier. Right, what I'm going to do is, before I put the cable up nice and tight, also don't forget your metal ferrules. This one was missing, so I've had to put one on. Believe me, if you ever work at a bike shop and you forget these kind of things, customers do notice. They also improve everything because they keep it all solid. Anyway, I've undone this, the little barrel adjuster. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the brakes on nice and tight. And I'm going to pull the cable through. There we go, through like that, nice and tight. I'm going to tighten up with the brakes on, like so. And then I'm going to adjust this back down from tight, working the brake lever as I go. And what that's going to give me, even though I've got oily fingers, so I'm struggling, there we go, is a nice lever feel and the ability to go either way on the barrel adjustment. There you go. Tighten that up, lock it off once you're happy, Okay, back brake is going to be the same as the front. And check it meets with the wheel the way it should do. And it does, it's spot on. Expect no less, we haven't made that many major changes. I've undone that outer a little bit just to bring it in. Bring the locking lever in. Just gonna loosen that down. Also put another ferrule, because it was missing the brake ferrule on the end. I'll work that lever. Oh, joy of a single speed, this thing's nearly done. Okay, so not a lot left to do now other than bar tape and finding some bottle cages, I guess. Before we do that, I'm going to tape down brake cables so they're nice and tight and inside, ready for the bar tape. Okay, so bar tape options. Got some black that's been used before. It's like a black faux sort of suede. I think this is going to be our best option because it is either that. The only other thing I found is pink, which, you know, loves me a bit of day glow, but I can't see that working. I know there's loads on the wall, by the way, but it's new old stock stuff and it's not very nice at all. That's why it hangs on the wall and looks pretty. Looking around, no, it's reusing that or pink. See if this black goes on. Cue a time lapse because there might be some swearing. Yeah, that didn't work out. Black bar tape was zonk, that wasn't going anywhere. I'm not putting the pink on it. Luckily Chopsy was out and about. So I said, Chopsy, go down to the local cyclery in town, find me something. And she has delivered. Profile design, black cork. I'm guessing that she's been to Evans because only Evans will put the bar tape is one size. One size? Well, obviously. Not only that, she picked out a couple of bottle cages. Look at that! These are Bond Trader. Be good to know that these are also one size. Well done, Evans. One size bottle cages. Always wondered why I couldn't get my bottle cages in a medium or a large. Well done. Anyway, we're nearly there. Get this finished, and then got plans. So, cue the time lapse, put the bar tape on, and let's not forget to find a Daniel Smooth Tarmac sticker for it and all. Anyway, build bar tape on here now. Let's do it. Get some bottle cages on. Let's get those one size bottle cages fitted. Now these Bond Traders actually just slot over the top, which is quite cool. So I'm just going to loosen the bolts. I think some original bolts have gone west somewhere on this bike because no, that doesn't work. Let's see if the other one works. The two different sizes. One in place there. Daniel Smooth Tarmac sticker coming up, people. Finally, got some pedals. Bang these on. Excuse me. There we go. Pedals are dunded. And with that, another technical episode and another bike is finished. The Paddy Wagon is ready for an adventure. It's ready to ride. I still can't believe what a bargain this bike has turned out to be, and I can only thank the owner who sold it to me for accepting my offer. I am truly grateful because I'm really going to enjoy this bike. It's been serviced where it needed servicing. We've got that new chain on there. It's been upgraded just because I can't help myself. Got the fresh bar tape, got the new bottle cages on. Tyres are more to my liking. Everything's had a deep clean. When I was cleaning it, I even spotted the saddle's got titanium rails. That's quite something. It's just brilliant. I love this bare steel finish. Absolutely brilliant. So we'll see how we get on with that gear ratio. See if that works for me. Might need a little bit more, but I'm not sure yet. Let's see. It might just do the trick. And with that, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to say that I hope your next ride is downhill with smooth tarmac. Keep your wheels spinning. Keep your rubber on that road, or your knobblies on the trail. Most of all, be safe. More importantly, get out there and ride your bike, but not before you've liked and subscribed if you've enjoyed my content. Plenty of videos, my library is growing. I can only thank those of you so far that have subscribed and liked my videos. It is really humbling. Anyway, enough of that. Going full Captain Bird's Eye again. Get out there, ride your bike. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.